Hello, happy Tour Tuesday, everybody. It's good to see you. There's a lot of us wearing red for, for the Phillies in support. Me and Deb and Steven and Karen has red on. So it's good. It's exciting. Of course, you know, I promise I'll be done by 8 o'clock so we can watch the Phillies game. I don't want to disappoint anyone. We have some great tours to talk about today. We can think Florida, we can think warm, we can think beach and sun, which is always fun. I mean, we're not yet to winter, so we're not feeling like we're deprived yet, but it's going to be fun to talk about that. I was at the birthday bash last week, the Star 75th anniversary birthday bash in Louisville, Kentucky, and it was fantastic. So if you missed it, we missed you, but next year we'll have another birthday bash tour that we're already working on to Richmond, Virginia. And we had a great time. We were dancing on a Tuesday night, if that tells you anything. That's right, Angie? Angie came with me. And we had a really good time. We had a good time. So today I have two very important tour directors with me to talk about these tours. I have Penny Rudolph, who a lot of you know. There she is. She's waving. And I have Angie Belmont, who's going to wave in a second. There she is. Thank you, Angie. A lot of you know Angie as well. So we're going to be talking about the Florida tours. And then we have some travel advisors on the call. We have Deb Ayers on the phone on the call today. There she is. And we have Lindy Rivera on the call today. Wave, Lindy. There she is. And we have Courtney. We can't see Courtney's face, but she's with us today listening in so she can learn all about the Florida trips that we're offering. So we haven't done this in a while, but I think that we should have a poll. We haven't done a poll for a while, so I made a poll for you, and I'm going to launch it. So these are very important questions. Nope, this is not the poll. That's not the right one. Hold on, that was old. Let's do the poll for today. All right. First question. Will you be watching the Phillies game after this Tour Tuesday ends?
No. Yes.
These are anonymous, so no one's going to come after you if you say no, but we'll question it a little bit. So are you able to vote?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so that's the first question. For some reason, I'm not seeing your answers, and I don't know why. I usually see them by now. Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Okay.
All right. On Thursday night, will you be watching the Phillies or the Eagles?
Oh, gosh.
Here are the answers. Phillies, Eagles. I'll be watching HGTV as usual, or none of the above.
I wish there was, there should be one that says both.
Yeah. You have to pick one. You have to pick one. That's good. There should be one because I will be watching both. And let's test your knowledge. What is the Eagles' record, and how many World Series games have the Phillies won so far? The Eagles' record is 1-7, and the Phillies have won 2 games, or the Eagles' record is 7-1, and the Phillies have won 0 games, or the Eagles' record is 7-0, and the Phillies have won 1 game, or the Eagles' record is 6-1, and Phillies have won 1 game so far. And then, of course, my last question. Who wants to talk about tours now? I get it. I get it. So I can see your answers piling in.
He doesn't want to bring it to you.
I can't reach.
That was a fun one.
Gotta come closer.
All right, let's see. I'll give you guys a couple extra minutes.
Watch her bring him right to you.
Oh, let me go. Let's.
Yeah, but I'm not fast.
All right. Let's
Fast,
see.
that dog. He's
I
fast.
hear a squeaky toy.
I know, I do too.
Someone's
Hold on,
playing
let me
with
get
their puppy.
Okay. All right. So I'll show you the results. Well, it looks like 65% of you will be watching the Phillies game. And 30% of you, no thanks. All right, good to know. Majority of you are watching the Phillies game. On Thursday night, will you be watching the Phillies or the Eagles? Interesting. Very interesting. Heavy on the Phillies, a few HGTV watchers, and a few no thank you, none of the above.
Wow.
And the majority of you did get it right. The Eagles record is 7-0, and the Phillies have won 1 game so far. 70% of you got that right. So for those, let's see, 7 of you that got that wrong, the correct answer, Eagles 7-0, and the Phillies have won 1 out of their 2 games so far. And it turns out that all of you want to talk about tours. Well, you're in the right place if you want to talk about tours, because that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to start off by sharing my screen, and we're here to talk about Daytona Beach, Orlando, and Phillies Spring Training in Clearwater. So to kick this off, I thought that I would bring somebody who is very knowledgeable about this tour, Penny Rudolph. Of course, she's knowledgeable about all of our tours, but specifically she escorted this trip last year, so she knew exactly how it went. And she's going to take us through the day-by-day itinerary of this trip. So big picture, it leaves the end of January 25th. It comes home February 6th. So we're away for 13 days and 12 nights. Great time of the year to get away in Florida. It's priced at $19.99 per person based on 2 in a room, $26.99 per person for a single, and it includes 3 meals. So I am going to let Penny take it away from here.
Hi, everybody. Glad you can join us tonight. Last year was great at the Daytona trip, and I have to tell you that there were 17 singles. So if you're single and you're skeptical about going by yourself, don't be, because everybody got together, hung out together, did a lot of activities together. So don't be shy, come down, you'll have a great time. So we start off on Wednesday and we travel to Fayetteville, North Carolina. We have lunch on our own en route, and we check in for 1 overnight at the Country Inn and Suites. Dinner is on your own, and there's about 5 restaurants within walking distance of a block and a half. The next morning, we wake up, breakfast at our hotel, we check out, travel to Daytona Beach. We have lunch en route, and we check in for 10 overnights at Perry's Ocean Edge Resort. And we're there, I want to say around 5 o'clock, and we have dinner on our own that evening. Now, just to let you know, when you check in, and I believe the next page will show you what the accommodations are like. We're right on the ocean. Everybody has a beautiful deck looking out over the water. Last year, we were able to see 3 shuttle launches from Cape Canaveral, from our property, from our decks, from the yards, from the lawn. Every room has, every accommodation has a full kitchen, a dining table for 4, 2 queen-size bed, a sitting area, a really nice big flat screen TV, a dressing area, a large dressing area, and a really lovely bathroom. Everything is updated. All the rooms have been redone, I'd say, within the last 2 years. There's hair dryer and iron in every room, and I think you'll love it. Let's look back. So when we get there, you will see in the lobby a schedule of events for Star Tours, and it goes day by day by day, because you have some days off and some days we have activities. This tour gives you the time to spend time on your own. If you want to rent a car, if you want to go visit the village, visit some family, if you just want to lay out on the beach, just relax, read a book. As some people come down and they actually work from down there, you can do that. So we go off and on with different things, and this is posted in the lobby area, so you know exactly what is included. So as I said, the resort itself is lovely. There's 2 wings to the resort. There's 2 outdoor pools, 1 indoor pool, huge area, beach. You can see the top part, all palm trees, lots of tables and chairs. Lovely, lovely resort. There's a little exercise room, a tiki bar you can see on your bottom left there. Every morning there are homemade donuts if you don't want to make your own breakfast, and coffee that's served for everyone. So, all right, let's move on down to the next one. All right, so on day 3, so on day 2 for dinner, there are a couple of restaurants across the street. There's a supermarket across the street. But on Friday morning, we take everyone who wants to go, and everybody does, to the Daytona Flea Market and Farmers Market, because you'll be in your room for 10 days. You have meals that you want to do, things you want to get at the market. So you go to the flea market for the flea market and the farmers market for fresh produce. And before we return, we will take you to a large supermarket where you can get other goods that you want to stock up your accommodations. Here you can see one of the people on our tour last year getting some really beautiful produce. And that evening, we will take you to dinner at Aunt Catfish's right on the Intercoastal Waterway. They give you menus, select from, delicious food, plenty of it, and it's a wonderful evening, real pretty area. Saturday, you are on your own. Sunday.
I thought I
Okay.
jumped ahead
Okay,
there.
so
And
Sunday,
oh,
you'll
I
have-
just want to point out, it's nice to have the dinner included towards the beginning of the trip, because you can start to meet everybody and, you know, get to know people. And that way you have people to spend the rest of the trip with if you choose to.
And just to add on to that, outside in the area, the pool area, there are lots of tables and chairs and umbrellas, and people come out there, they congregate, they bring down snacks, cocktails, pretzels, food, cheese, crackers, and people just form in groups and tables and have a great time. They meet and make a lot of new friends. So Sunday morning, you'll have breakfast on your own, and we travel north to St. Augustine, which is the oldest city, and it is beautiful, historic, and we will have admission to the Fountain of Youth and the Archaeological Park. We have an excellent tour there, and we get to drink from the Fountain of Youth. We see their beautiful new planetarium that actually shows the night skies when Ponce de Leon first came to the New World. We have a local guide that'll take us on a historical tour throughout the area after seeing the Fountain of Youth, and we will have free time in the historic city on St. George Street. And on the next page, you'll see some of the beautiful sites that are available. The town itself is over 430 years old, and it is just beautiful, charming, lots of good food, lots of shopping, souvenirs, or just walking, sitting around, relaxing, taking in the historical sites. So we'll have admission to the mission of down there. And here you can see, after our free time for lunch and browsing around, we go on an 1.5-hour scenic boat cruise in the harbor of St. Augustine. It's beautiful, relaxing, and after our sightseeing, we'll return to the hotel and we will have dinner on our own that evening. On Monday, you have a free day. Meals are on your own on any of the free days, and lunch and dinners and so forth. On Tuesday, after our breakfast, we spend a whole day at Kennedy Space Center. We head south. You can see some of the beautiful sights that we see. As I said, from our accommodations, we actually saw, in the time we were there, 3 separate shuttle launches. Everybody, they were announced the time, everybody was looking up at the sky, you had to be around. So that is a wonderful day. You go out to the pads, they have many interactive exhibits. Now on day 8, you have a free day. And I do want to say that right outside the front door of the hotel, there is a free, not a free bus, it's a bus that's almost free. It's 85 cents. It takes you up and down the island. You can get passes, it'll take you off the island. We have people that went to see the opera. They went up all the way to the end of the island. They went out on the piers. They really use that system on their free day if they chose to. So that is, please know that when you do have your free days, you don't have to rent a car. There are ways to getting around everywhere. All right, so Thursday after breakfast, we go to the Daytona International Speedway. And we actually drive around on their little shuttles on the raceway. And when you come around those curves, that finish line is like a 30-some degree slant. You can't even walk up that slant. But what we all get to do is sign our names on the finish line. So that's really fun. So we tour it, we go inside, we see all of the cars. Excellent, excellent, it's wonderful. What we usually do after the speedway, anyone that wants to get let off in the downtown area of Daytona, we drop them off there. You can walk back to the hotel or take the bus back for 85 cents. And it just gives you another option. Many people just want to go back, relax on the beach, read, whatever they prefer. Again, dinner on own. And do know that there is a restaurant in the hotel that's open, I think, Wednesday to Sunday. There are 2 restaurants across the street from the hotel, one half a block to the left and another 2 blocks to the right. So you don't have to cook, you have plenty of choices. Here we have on days 10 and 11, Friday and Saturday. This is what the beach area looks like. When you come out for the tables and chairs, the ocean, it's a really flat beach. And you can see me there walking on the beach because the beach is flat. I'm in my bathing suit and a skirt because people say, isn't it cold there? No, it was lovely. The temperature went from the 60s into the 70s. It was really delightful. And here you can actually ride your car on the beach. A couple of people that did rent cars actually came out and rode on the beach. Some of our folks even rented Jeeps and bicycles and rode the length of the beach. So that was great. Also, on Friday, there may be an optional tour for anyone who just wants to do something different. And we'll let you know when you come along. Last year, it was a great success. We went on a little dolphin cruise and went to see the second tallest lighthouse. So, you know, there's always something to do on like one of our extra little days off. So, and here you can see some of the ladies. These are some of the single ladies, and they're just driving on the Jeep, some on their bathing suits and their shorts, their tops, beautiful sunny days. See how flat the beach is, the waves are gentle. So on Sunday, after our breakfast on the own, we check out of our hotel. We travel back to Fayetteville, stopping for lunch along the way. And we do stop in the same hotel, going back up as we do coming back down. On Monday, after our breakfast, we check out, travel home, say goodbye to those beautiful beaches, lunch on our own en route. And I will say last year when we were away, one of the drivers sent me a picture and he said to me, look what you're missing. And it was a big snowstorm, about 12 inches of snow. And of course, I had to send him a picture of the beautiful sun palm trees in the ocean. I said, oh, so sorry. Look what you're missing. A great trip, a lot of fun.
That's awesome, Penny. Thank you so much for taking us through that. It sounds fantastic. We still have plenty of seats left on this trip. We have, I believe, 12 people booked and over 30 seats available. So it's not too late to book. And we do want you to book soon so we can do our advanced planning and know how many people we're going to have. Does anybody have any questions for Penny?
And they can use their coupons in the brochure.
Yes, they can
So
use their
your coupons.
She knows. She knows. I love it. I love it. Yes, we do have coupons that are running now. They're running currently. So use them. No questions for Penny? All right. Thank you, Penny.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Angie, it is your turn. Let me pin you up here. Very good. And I'm going to share the screen again. Nope, not that screen. Let's do a different screen. There we go.
Nope. Next one.
Angie is here to talk about Orlando. It truly is a magical vacation. And I invited Angie to talk to you, although she's not escorting this year's trip. She escorted this trip last year. So this is very fresh in her mind, and the trip will be virtually the same as it was last year. So Angie will take you through this before she starts. The dates are February 25th through March 8th. So still right smack in the middle of winter, 12 days, 11 nights, $17.99 per person based on 2 in a room. And this includes breakfasts every morning. So Angie, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you. So we did have a theme song for our trip last year, and it happened to be all the single ladies, because I want to reiterate what Penny said when she started her little talk. We had about 23 people on this trip last year and only 2 couples. So the other 19 people were single. I think 2 gentlemen and 17 single ladies. So yes, we did sing at breakfast every morning, all the single ladies. It was a great, great trip. We started out on a Saturday. We traveled to Florence, South Carolina for the first day. Lunch is on our own, and we check in at for one overnight at the Hampton Inn. Of course, Hampton Inns provide breakfast in the morning. So on day 2, we check out after we have breakfast, and we get to Orlando right before dinner time. And the first night, so the ROSEN Inn at Orlando Point is across the street from an amazing complex of stores and bowling alleys and music theaters, movie theaters, pubs, restaurants. It's just literally across the street. So the first night we all walked to dinner at Maggiano's, 25 of us. So we all went to dinner across the street, had a lovely dinner, got to know each other. And we sort of made a plan that night that we would meet every day for breakfast. I would be there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours waiting for them. We'd have breakfast, and then they would let me know what their ideas were for the day. Not that they had to tell me, but they always wanted to know what I was doing, so that if they wanted to tag along or we wanted to figure out something together, we could do that. So the first night, basically, we just got there, went to dinner, went to bed, and then woke up the next day. This beautiful hotel has 3 outdoor pools, and some people swam every day. It's across the street, as I said, from this mega complex, and it's right on International Drive. So iDrive has a trolley for 25 cents. And so the next morning, we ended up at the food store, similar to the Daytona trip. We went to the food store because you can just microwave or heat something up in your room, or, get a sandwich, put it in the refrigerator. Each room had refrigerators, microwaves, etc. So we did go to the food store, people shopped. In the afternoon, virtually all of us took a ride for 25 cents. You can go all the way south on the trolley and then cross the street, come all the way back for another 25 cents. So south takes you all the way to SeaWorld, Tanger Outlets. Then we crossed the street, went all the way north. So on the first day in the afternoon, we were kind of plotting and planning what we wanted to do. There were 3 days that were scheduled for us on this trip. And the other days we were just on our own to find things to do. So that was on day 2. Breakfast is included every day. You see some pictures here. One of our passengers took a VIP tour of Universal Studios. She said it cost her only $200. They gave her 2 meals. She had a nice little badge that showed she was a VIP, and she had a great day on her own at Universal Studios. Some passengers, 2 of them in particular, went to Walt Disney World, and they had a lovely day on their own. These are not included, of course, on the trip, but you can get tickets right at the concierge desk at the ROSEN Inn. You can get tickets or order a cab or whatever you want to do. The top picture there is all of us. We went to the front of Universal Studios is called City Park, and you don't need a ticket for City Park. And so I mentioned one day at breakfast, I think I'm going to take a ride over to City Park and maybe find like the Hard Rock for dinner. And there were 21 of us that went to dinner at the Hard Rock that night in City Park. Yeah. So
City
people
Walk?
are kind of
Wait,
looking, City Walk,
Walk
I'm
or
sorry,
City
City
Walk?
Walk. Yeah, City Walk, yeah. So, and we just walked around and we saw the lights around. We didn't have a ticket to get in any park. We all had dinner at the Hard Rock. That was a lovely night.
It sounds like you were the Pied Piper.
Well, you know, and picture me, I'm so shy, right, Miss Sandy? You know, as soon as I said what I was going to do for the afternoon, people wanted to go to relax. Somebody actually said to me, I haven't been to the pool yet, Angie. It's day 4. I'm like, sorry. So day 3 and 4 are free days on your own. Day 5 was also a free time on Wednesday. You could also pick to do, you know, whatever you would like to do. On day 6.
And that, I think that on that day, and I think this is new this year, we put in a specific day that we are going to shuttle everybody to the parks, to Disney parks.
Oh, okay.
That's
That's new
new.
then. Okay.
Yep. See, Angie suggested it. She didn't even know we put it in there, but
Okay.
yeah. So this way, everybody, you guys can go on the same day if you want. You can go whatever day you want, but on this day, the Star Bus will take you over to the Disney parks.
Oh, that's great. Oh, so also you added a shuttle to Universal City Walk. That's good. We got it. That's good on Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah, you see some of the lovely little libations we had there on the lower left-hand side. And that's a picture of from City Walk looking into the Islands of Adventure, one of the parks at Universal. Yeah, that was
Wow.
great.
Yeah, that's great. I should have jumped in to say, yes, we are doing a shuttle now.
Oh, to Universal, yeah. So now this is a prime example, day 7. We went to last year, we went to Celebration, Florida, which is a city that Walt Disney set up to be like the perfect community. It had a lovely little downtown area, not a lot to see, but we spent, you know, a few hours walking around. We had lunch there. And then on the comment cards, as well as on my summary as the tour director, we kind of mentioned to Sandy that it'd be nice to do a little something different than just walk around the town of Celebration. It's all the executive offices for Disney World. So there wasn't a lot to see. And 2 or maybe 4 of my passengers went to the Kennedy Space Center. So based on passenger comments and my input, we changed it. Day 7 is going to be a day at Kennedy Space Center. It's included in your tour. You have lunch and dinner on your own. And this, with your admission, you get the view of Apollo Saturn V Center, the Space Shuttle Atlantis, a shuttle launch experience, an astronaut encounter, the U.S. Astronaut Hall of Fame. So they spent the entire day there last year and said it was just fabulous. So we've included that this year on day 7.
Excellent.
Yep. So day 8 was a lovely trip to Winter Park last year. Winter Park, Florida. You can see that's like Main Street Winter Park right there. Someone told me about a boat ride that is actually not included. And so I mentioned on the bus that I'll be taking the little boat ride. I think it was $15. And it takes you past some famous houses and some mansions and down a couple little cute little waterways. And yeah, 24 people went on the boat ride that day. We all took the boat ride together. So that was a nice way to spend about an hour in Winter Park. And then there's a lot more in Winter Park than there is in Celebration. So we spent the rest of the day just touring around and looking in the shops. We had lunch there and just walked around. The weather was beautiful. It sounds like it was just like it was in Daytona last year. It was beautiful. People swam. It was in the 70s every day. It did rain one day. We walked across the street, went to the movies. We saw the Orient Express movie, Murder on the Orient Express. So 21 of us went to the movies that day across the street. It's raining, Angie. What are we going to do? Well, let's go see a movie, see what's playing. Yeah. So that's how we spent that afternoon. Day 9 is another free day on your own. So the nice thing about this trip, just like Daytona, is that they infuse a little one day here, a couple days on your own. Then we have something planned for you. Then you're on your own again. So you have lots of time to explore, just ride the trolley if you want. I don't think we're not close to a beach because we're inland in Orlando, but we spent a lot of time across the street at that mega complex across from the ROSEN Inn. We spent a lot of time over there walking around. We were going to go bowling, but it didn't open till later at night. So we ended up not going bowling. Day 10, we went to Disney Springs. That was our third excursion on last year's trip, which is all the different stores and a lot of different activities that is Disney related, but you don't have to pay to get in. There was a boat ride there. There was like a big balloon launch. So we found out that the Disney owns the Cirque du Soleil, and we found tickets for Cirque du Soleil one night, and 10 of us went to go see. And I just had a passenger on my trip at the birthday bash last week, and they said, remember when we went to go see the Cirque du Soleil in Orlando? So that was a highlight of her trip last year when we went to Orlando. But we spend the afternoon at Disney Springs and do some shopping if you want, walking around. That's the little lagoon that goes around Disney Springs. Like I said, there is a boat ride, and lunch and dinner are on your own that day. So there's a couple of, this is at Disney Springs. On the left-hand side, you see some passengers taking a picture behind Minnie and Mickey. And then that was our boat ride, the upper right, and then the lower picture was our boat ride in Winter Garden last year. On day 11, we check out, travel back to the same Hampton Inn in Florence, South Carolina. And then day 12, we start our way home and make our drop-offs in the opposite direction as when we came. So it went by really quickly. And if you're thinking that you might want to be a snowbird, but you're not sure yet, either Daytona or this trip is a good way to try it and see if you like Florida for like 10 days straight.
Yep, that's a great point. This is a great way to test out if you like a longer stay in Florida. Thank you so much, Angie. That was great.
My pleasure.
Does anybody have any questions for Angie? She clearly had a great time last year. And so did 24 of her closest friends.
Sandy, I will reiterate what she said, Angie, and I think Penny mentioned this as well. Customer feedback is really important because that's how we revise and make our tours better and a lot more fun for everybody. So always, please make sure you complete your online tour comment cards on the bus, because that's how we improve things for you all. So appreciate it. Thanks, Angie.
You're welcome.
Yeah, great point, Deb. We read them all. I specifically read them all, and I do listen. All right, good. No more questions for Angie. All right. Pat had a question. What time does the bus leave in the morning for tours? Well, that's a great question, Pat, and it really depends. It depends on where you're leaving from. And it depends if the trip is going north, south, or west. So usually sometime between 7 and 9 a.m. Hopefully that's a good answer for you. But if you need something more specific, give us a call in the office and we can tell you the departure time for every tour. Of course, times are always tentative until we send out boarding passes. So I will.
Can I just add something?
Yes, of course.
So once we get to Florida, I'm looking at my itinerary from last year. On the 3 days that we had specific things to do, excursions, we didn't leave till 9 a.m. on those days. So there's now this year with the Kennedy Space Center, we may have to leave a little bit earlier because it's about 15 minutes to an hour to get there. But last year we didn't leave before 9. One day was 9:25 and the other 2 days were 9:15.
Great. And I think Pat was you were probably answering the question that Pat asked. I probably misunderstood her. So yeah, hopefully your question is answered, Pat. It sounds like it was. We covered all our bases.
We did.
Penny, if you have to unmute yourself, because I muted everybody at one
Oh,
point.
sorry. On the Daytona trip, I think there's 2 days that you leave like 9:30, 10.
Perfect.
Okay, so it's not like we're getting up out of bed and going. Okay.
It's not
perfect.
like one of our normal tours.
No, yeah.
Right.
You don't need a vacation after you come back from
Right,
a
this
tour.
is a
I
true
was gonna
vacation.
say it, the boss said it, right, I wasn't gonna say.
This is a tour vacation, a vacation tour.
Excellent. All right, let's talk about spring training.
Yes.
So we haven't had a spring training trip in a few years, for a couple reasons, obviously COVID and spring training, I think, was canceled one year. So I didn't have a tour director that has escorted this trip recently, because they retired. So I'm going to take you through this trip as best I can. So I know I'm not Penny and I'm not Angie. But maybe you guys will give me a C+ at the end of the day. You give them A+, I'll take a C+. And this tour, oh, I forgot to tell you about the Orlando trip. The tour director is Andy Byers, and 14 people are booked already. So don't delay on booking that trip, because that's a good one and it will sell well. So again, that's Orlando. Shifting over to the Phillies. This trip leaves in March, right in the heart of spring training season. We're gone for 9 days and 8 nights. The price is $18.99 per person for 2 people in a room and $24.99 for 1 person in a room. And this trip, I did actually join this trip a few years ago. Maybe it was more than a few, but I remember there was a great mix of couples and solo travelers, and there was some father-son, mother-daughter, a couple sisters when I went. So it's just a mix of everybody. So you can feel absolutely comfortable joining us on this trip, no matter if you're by yourself or with somebody. We do include breakfast each day on this trip. And it starts out with us staying overnight at the Country Inn and Suites in Florence, South Carolina. That's where we do our en route hotel stop. And again, we'll walk to restaurants nearby for dinner. And then on Wednesday, we're going to wake up and we will start our drive to Clearwater. And we will arrive at the Holiday Inn Clearwater, St. Petersburg North, where we will spend the next 6 overnights. So this trip used to be three Phillies games, and now it's 4 Phillies games and a free day, because this is something that you've asked us for. So let's talk about this Holiday Inn, because it is a very nice property. Of course, it has an outdoor pool. There is a tavern and a restaurant, both on site. Flat screen TVs, refrigerators, microwave, coffee maker. There is a complimentary shuttle service based on availability. So if you want to go someplace and the bus isn't already going there, you can coordinate the shuttle to take you within a 5-mile radius. And there's beaches nearby, there's museums, there's an aquarium. I happened to visit that aquarium. That was where Winter, the dolphin, lived. There's Busch Gardens isn't too far away. So there's lots of things to see and do while you're in Clearwater. So one of the most fun things that we incorporate is there's a restaurant called Lenny's. I would call it more of a diner. My family and I went here when we were visiting, and it's sort of like a Phillies themed restaurant, and you might see a Phillies player eating there. You might see a Phillies manager eating there while you're eating. You certainly will see other Phillies fans eating there. So one of the mornings we'll take you over, and even though you have a free breakfast, you may want to just have a nice breakfast out at Lenny's in Clearwater. So the spring training schedule just came out about a month ago, I would say, and no tickets are confirmed yet, because they don't let us confirm the tickets until after the World Series. So these are, we'll call these the best laid plans. So they could change, but this is our plan. On Thursday, we're going to Lakeland, Florida, to see the Phillies play Detroit. And we don't know the times yet or anything like this. So we don't know if it'll be an afternoon game or an evening game. But you'll have time at the hotel or free time before or after the game. We always go to the games a little bit early, not a little bit, actually a good amount early. So you can maybe get an autograph, get to know the stadiums, enjoy the time that you have at this different stadium. So that's Thursday. And then on Friday, our plan is to go see, to stay in Clearwater and see the Phillies play Toronto. So again, don't know what time the game is, but Thursday would be Detroit, Friday would be Toronto. And then Saturday, our plan is to have right in the middle, have this day on our own. So we'll provide transportation over to Clearwater Beach. So if you want, you can go to the beach and you can really just chill out for a day in between. And then on Sunday, we'll play Boston at home. And on Monday, we'll play Baltimore at home. The reason I didn't say where Toronto was playing is because we don't know. It's not clear on their schedule if the game is home or away. So we know we'll have at least one away game. Our plan is to probably have this be an away game. Then we have 2 home games. If for some reason we can't get tickets, we'll switch around this Clearwater day. They're playing Atlanta on this day. So we have a little bit of room to move. Right now, our plan is Detroit, Toronto, Boston, and Baltimore, but we can throw Orlando in there. Throw Atlanta in there if we need to. So this is a really great trip for baseball lovers. It's a great trip for Phillies lovers. It's a great trip for people that want to be somewhere warm at the right time. It's still definitely cold out here in the Northeast. And then on our 8th day, we'll start heading back up to Florence. We'll spend our final night at the same hotel we spent our first night in, and then we will arrive home on our 9th day. So that's how that trip works. I will stop and ask you if you have any questions about that. You guys are so good. Questions. You just have to unmute yourself for questions if you'd like. And then
Are there any restaurants around near the Holiday Inn?
That's a great question. I believe there are. And again, there's that shuttle that will take you within 5 miles. When I was there, I don't think we were staying at that hotel. So I'd have to look that up.
Okay.
But it is in a good location. I know that for sure.
But there is a restaurant in the hotel and a lounge in the hotel.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Yes. So you could eat there without going anywhere. Let's see. Let me share the screen again. There are 2 ways to book your trip. You can call and talk to one of our lovely travel advisors, Deb, Lindy, or Courtney, or you could book it right online. We would love for you to do either. Oh, this reminds me. It's time for a winner. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Our winner here is Sylvia Mayover. Sylvia, are you still on the call? Oh, I see your name. Hopefully you're still there. I don't see your face, but you have just won a $25 gift card. So if you would like to book on Florida or anything, any other trip, you can combine your coupon and the gift card you just won, because gift cards are combinable with coupons. So congratulations, Sylvia. And Wow, it's 7:49. You guys might even have a chance to get a drink, go to the bathroom before the Phillies game. Does anybody have any questions about these 3 Florida trips or any other star trips that I can answer for you?
I'll say it's a great way going to Florida just to get away from home. It's a long enough time, but not too long. And, you know, you close your door at home, you come, you have a wonderful time, enjoy scheduled activities, free activities, best of both worlds. It's definitely warmer down there. And I think you have a great time, great memories. So come on and join one of our tours down to Florida.
Thanks, Penny. Absolutely. Yes,
Sandy,
these trips
Sandy,
are
I have
a
a
great
question.
combination of free time and planned time. Go ahead, Pam.
What are the COVID restrictions now?
We don't have any COVID restrictions now.
Okay,
So masks are optional.
okay,
You know, you will find on any tour, some people wearing masks. Most people don't, but some people do. We welcome whatever
Yeah.
you choose
Okay.
to do. We encourage you to wear it if that makes you comfortable. There's really no restrictions anymore.
good.
If you
good.
do, I
Thank you.
will say, if you do test positive while you are on tour with us, you will have to leave the tour.
Hmm.
That, I guess I would call that a restriction.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Good question. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much. Let's talk about what's next. Let's talk about our next tour Tuesday, December 6th. I'm reading my notes because I have to prompt myself. We will be talking about 3 fly trips, Britain Sampler, California Coast and Yosemite, and Canyon Country. So I hope you can join us December 6th to learn about either of those 3 trips. And in the meantime, you could call Deb, Courtney, Lindy. If you have any questions, they'll be there for you. And think about that birthday bash next year because we're going to have a good time. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.